I guess I should probably talk about guitars, huh?
Yeah.
That was the intro, I guess. Little intro there. So, anyways, this is really cool. This is my third time here, I don't know. Like, I won't go into the whole spiel about who's selling what guitars, but like, the first time I was on the way here to see John Mann, I was told that it was above a basement. So I was like, oh, here we go. Like, let's go to or no, was it above a garage? That's the other one, the above ground one. So I went in there, and sure enough, it was a really cool operation. John and Roxanne and I all hit it off, and we've been friends since. And it's I don't know, it's just a really, where I come from, there's not really any music stores. There's actually just like rundown gas stations and empty beer cans. And I'm further south than Bosco, which is crazy. I'm from Dothan, Alabama. How about that? I can read too. Yeah, I do. I should. Oh, yeah, I do, don't I? All right. So, what's that? Yeah, that's what I say all the time too. I didn't say that. So, anyways, I started my little affair with the guitar when I was a typical teenager. I made the best grades that I could to keep my parents off my back, and I didn't want them to buy me any guitars because they could take them away from me if I was bad. But lo and behold, my other brother with the good grades was the bad guy. I was the good guy. It was good cop, bad cop. I was seen as the good guy because he was bad first because he was older, right? So my curfew was like, I didn't really have a curfew because he just destroyed all that, you know what I mean? Like, but I didn't really care about anything else. It really, you know, I hate to make it sound like the cliche, like rock and roll story, like when I first started playing, because I didn't really see it as this valiant thing. You know, I was just bored. Really, really bored. And then that one Christmas came where I got the Washburn Lion with a Y. That guitar's still in pieces on my parents' wall, by the way. There's a reason why it's in pieces, think about it. But I didn't really know what a great playing guitar truly was. I didn't really care. I was always that kid that had the real shitty guitar, but I could like outplay the rich kids with the nice guitars at the other high school, you know what I'm saying? But I really cared about it, and all my friends were doing it. You know, all my friends are doing it, so I guess I have to do it. You know, and sure enough, I kind of saw where there was a breaking point with caring. Like there's a certain level that they couldn't get to that required a lot of sacrifice, and I was kind of a weirder kid. I didn't really care about sports, although I appreciated them and stuff like that. So basically, like I kind of picked up where they left off, and a lot of my peers didn't really make it. You know, they're happy, so they made it, in my opinion. But I kind of had a lot of peers invest around me. They really pushed me, like, you should keep doing it, keep going, and it'll win it for all of us. So I went to college for music. Right out of high school, I got the hell out of that town, because that's your dream when you're from where I'm from, is to not be there. You should see my face when somebody says play Skinner, this like little twitch thing. It's like involuntary, like eye twitching, and I look really mad. I'm kidding. But so I realized the only thing I couldn't do was jazz. That's the truth of it. Like I could play all the Van Halen, I could play like what I can't even remember this stuff at this point. But just like any teenager, I was all about speed, thin strings, low action, all this. And but I had a lot of people around me that would be like, "Don't do that. You look like an idiot." Like, or better yet, like my choice in gear, which is actually how PRS happened. One of my favorite people of all times is a PRS dealer, and I bought my first hollow body, which got Paul's attention at Ozfest off of his dad for $1,600. It's a regular. It's the one that I would have let this burn. This is a private stock. I would go in for that $1,600 one because that's the one that I put literally like everything into. It's a 04. So for 13 years I've been playing the hell out of that thing. I just like Bosco was talking about. There's always the conversation of Gibson and Fender, and I liked certain things about Fender. I like where the volume knob was. I like certain things about Gibson. I didn't like certain things about Gibson. I didn't like certain things about Fender. I didn't want to play an Ibanez. Not to bash other companies. All these companies are great, but I had this Wizards and Warriors paint finish guitar. It's an Ibanez with like shark tooth inlays and a reverse headstock, and like the neck was actually as thin as. Well, it's actually as thin as air. You can't see it. It was so thin. It's like really thin. That's before I worried about things like vibrato. Anyways, I'm not going to bash anything. But the point being is that I got so sick of these dorky keyboard players. No offense to keyboard players. Were like, man, that's an awesome guitar, man. And I just grumble. I'd be like, because I bought the guitar to refinish it, but of course you never do. So here I'm walking around this pink and purple guitar with like a lightning bolt on it and water, and there's like a dragon. I swear to God, I sold that thing, and it popped back up, and the guy called me and was like, "Hey man, remember when you sold me that guitar like all those years ago and said that if I sold it I had to sell it back to you first?" I was like, "Yeah, well forget about that." Anyway, so as far as being mature as a musician, musical maturity, I was a youngster. I like loud and heavy stuff. I played metal. That's kind of I'm like not an angry dude, but I can be pretty high strung, like just excited.
You think?
Yeah, a little bit, just like Peter, high strung but excited. But I naturally did metal, and that's the first door that opened for me. But lo and behold, I'd given up on it. Finally, like when it finally actually happened, I was done with it. I felt that I went as far as I could. So I went to explore jazz and different sounds. So a lot of the stuff that I used to do back in the day, there were times where there was, all the, I don't even try to do it now, but there's all the, all the tapping and stuff. Like let's be able to play that 3 times perfectly. You would have no idea how many hours I spent trying to be perfect at that. Then I realized nobody cared. Nobody cared, and I remember the first time I saw a dude. I was like 18, and I played this like my first real professional gig in front of a lot of people, and I was with this other guitar player who sucked, but he did this like where it belonged, and the crowd was like yes, and then I was like I'm gonna play some Insanity because they like Insanity, and then they just like saw me play the Insanity, and then they were like all right. And they kept looking at the other guy that sucked. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. I should probably stop doing the Insanity or at least try to make it sound better, like it belongs.